What is going on guys, MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Collector's Edition exclusive entry-grade Gunbarrel Strike Gundam, Gundam Breaker version from Gundam Breaker Ver. A concept prototype of the Strike Gundam that is equipped with the Gunbarrel Striker Pack, this version trades in the nose cone for a hardpoint module and the Buster Gundam's firearms, enabling different configurations to suit various combat situations. Opening the box of this entry grade grants you a total of 8 runners and a decal sheet. Naturally, with the entire body reused from the entry grade Strike, the core build might be all too familiar to you, with the coloration not providing much difference nor challenge. The attention would instead be drawn to the Gunbarrel Striker Pack, as this is mostly what the standard version will contain, and apart from it not being marketed as an entry grade warranting the need for tools during assembly, the gate placement and structure are quite beginner friendly, not posing much of a challenge. The same cannot be said for the Buster Gundam's guns though, as they're 100% reused from the 2003 kit. Overall, this build is simple and enjoyable, and since this surrounds the entry grade Strike mold, please check out the video on the Grand Slam version for more details of the body. But if you're wondering, the new joint parts and armor with hardpoints may be gated away for the standard release, most possibly to make way for the nose cone of the Striker Pack. All put together, and while I wasn't initially a fan of the gaudy color scheme, playing with it in the game has gradually made me warm up to it, while the clear orange does take some of the edge off. Granted, the metallic blue with the injection swirls made the kit look like it has a knockoff RG system, but that's besides the point. It does look good in general, and I'll make comments on the specific forms later on. The attention should instead be drawn to the Gunbarrel Striker Pack, as the engineering on those parts are fantastic. From the detailed and accurate sculpts and the separate thruster coloring, all the parts that will be shared with the standard kits do not miss a beat, not to mention them being born from a simple build. But if you want to fill in some missing details, the head sensors, thruster rims, and the foot thrusters could use some blue and orange, while the gun barrels have some small grey details that need filling in according to the game model. Apart from that, I believe some panel lining is all the enhancement it really needs for a casual builder, although I do think that a color scheme as eccentric as this is somewhat unbalanced as it is, which is what the gradient paint strokes replicated with decals could help with. In terms of moving parts, the top section and bottom fin of the Striker Pack can move as they are left over from the standard Gunbarrel Striker. Besides that, the mounting braces can only rotate as there's no joints for flapping, and the mounted weaponry can swivel to a degree. Meanwhile, the Buster's guns are still on 3 hinges, 1 swivel, and 1 ball joint for movement. But the ball joint is somewhat loose on both guns for whatever reason. But since none of the parts interfere with the strike directly, posability of the body is largely maintained with the usual pros and cons, besides the added weight issues from the Striker Pack. For accessories, besides the 1 pair of hands, the beam rifle, shield, and combat knives are all carried over from previous entry-grade strikes. Both the rifle and knives slide into the hand, and the shield can be adjusted with the ball joints after pegging into the elbow. On top of that, the Gunbarrel Strike also comes with a Gatling gun that has great sculpting and color separation. It just slides into the hands for use otherwise. For more firepower, the gun launcher and high energy rifle can deploy with various joints and be fired from the Striker Pack. And while they do still possess the combination gimmick, the arms have nowhere near as much flexibility to do so. Finally, there are the gun barrel pods on the top of the Striker Pack. The hatches can be rearranged to open them up, while the extended barrel is replicated with a separate piece. They can fire from the pack as they are, and their 3mm holes allow them to be displayed separately with action bases for all range attacks. Sadly, there are no wires. Lastly, to promote customization, this Gunbarrel Strike features a number of forms, replicable with an assortment of adapters and extra parts. Starting off with the default form, which is probably the most balanced form, with the wings and mounting brackets on top providing a large profile. Personally, I like this form the most as it keeps all the mounted weapons to the back without disrupting the body balance much. From there, if you omit the mounting bracket, swap the shoulder wings to the rear of the Striker, swap the gun arms around before angling them overhead, and plug in the gun barrels into the shoulder and leg hardpoints, you'll have the Support Gunbarrel Strike Gundam. To be fair, this form does remind me of the Gundam F90B type, but I think the gun barrels on the body look a bit tacked on, while the lackluster backpack isn't necessarily doing it for me. Moving on, from default, plugging in all the wing pieces into the Striker Pack, the gun barrels onto the X after removing the adapters, and transferring the Buster's guns onto the shoulders will yield the high mobility Gunbarrel Strike Gundam. And if I'm honest, it's giving me serious H2 double bullet vibes. Sadly, the default Gunbarrel Striker configuration isn't really enough to balance out the widened silhouette. Finally, the cross-shaped wings plug onto the legs, the gun barrels are plugged into the rear of the fuselage and the ends of the mounting brackets, while special adapters are used to mount the buster's guns onto the brackets to form the Assault Gunbarrel Strike Gundam. And this form isn't doing it for me at all, as it has all the junk on top and nothing besides the dinky tacky wings on the bottom to balance it out, to no avail. But hey, if the top mounted guns don't resemble the ones of the Verde Buster, then color me shocked. Speaking of which, besides the Striker Pack being intrinsically compatible with other strike-based kits, there is an adapter that converts the pack to the universal backpack standard, so you can steal it for your own custom builds as well if you so choose. For leftovers, besides the Strike's original shoulder and calf armor, the full Buster Gundam backpack and a 5th peg-to-peg adapter is left over. The last one is most likely for use with the Gatling gun to mount it onto the nose cone, but you can use it for your own purposes if needed. From its announcement, I was indifferent towards the entry-grade Gunbarrel Strike Gundam, Gundam Breaker version. My previous entry-grade Striker didn't age well, I didn't like the color, and the launch of the option part set line and runner labeling meant we'd be getting the standard version in due time, and my opinion has largely remained the same after obtaining my own copy from Bai. With the entry-grade Strike being as consistently dodgy as ever, the core posing experience isn't all that enjoyable. But the star of the show is that modified Gunbarrel Striker Pack. The common offerings shared with the standard kits are simple and effective, while looking great with no additional effort needed. Moreover, I've had a lot of fun with converting the kits into the various forms from the game, which takes me back to the Build Fighter's amazing kits without being too overwhelming. Never mind if you also use the unutilized holes and pegs for your own custom build. But what may be its exclusive features are not that indispensable in my opinion, and shouldn't be the sole determining factor of buying a copy secondhand. That being said, the ultimate decision is up to you, as while it is a nice kit to have no matter how you acquired it, it's not a kit I would recommend shelling out for unless you really like the design and features. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.